السيدات والسادة، طاب صباحكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أحييكم باسم المركز الثقافي العراقي في هذه الأسبوحة الطيبة، حيث يأتيك العلم والحوار المفيد الرصين مع عذوبة الجو هذا اليوم، يوم من أيام لندن المعتدلة، ونحن نلتقي هذه الكوكبة من العلماء والمختصين في شؤون مختلفة ليبحثوا موضوعا كبيرا ومهما، وهو غاية عملنا في المركز الثقافي لتكريس تبادل الثقافات والرؤى، ألا وهو الإرث الحضاري للشرق، The Cultural Legacies of the East. هذا الملتقى الفكري الأول الذي يقيمه المركز مهما كانت مخرجاته يرسل رسالتين مهمتين: تذكير الغرب بفضل الشرق عليه، خاصة حضاراتنا العربية، وحصرا الحضارة العراقية المتنوعة في إنجازاتها العلمية والمعرفية والروحية أيضا، ورسالة إلى الشباب من أبنائنا الذين يواجهون يوميا صورا نمطية تقلل من شأن بلادهم، بأن تلك البلاد كانت رائدة في العلم والفن والثقافة والمعرفة، وأن جينات أولئك المبدعين ما زالت تسري في عروقهم، وأن مستقبل بلداننا بجهودهم سيكون مشرقا ومؤثرا على الدوام. لا أريد أن أطيل، فأمامنا اليوم 3 محاضرات مهمة مع 7 من علمائنا، وأجدد شكري لكم وأشكر ضيوفنا من الأساتذة والعلماء الذين يشاركوننا أنشطة اليوم. شكر خاص للدكتور كاوى أمين الذي غطى بكرمه هذا النشاط.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the Iraqi Cultural Center to hosting us today, and thank you all of you guys for coming this weekend. Okay, such a nice weather. You have to go somewhere else today, but thank you to hosting with us. Now, I would like to join us to invite Dr. Kawa Amin and Nujda Amin to come to the stage to start our evening today.
Thank you very much. اللغة العربية من اللغات اللي أعتز بها ودائما أحب أتكلم فيها مع لغة الأم اللغة الكردية. But as we are in England now, and especially in London, I think we should have a common language, which is the English, so that everybody be in the same page and everybody can be shared the knowledge. As we mentioned by Dr. Amin, we're sharing knowledge between East and West, and also from the ancient civilization to the new civilization. Before going any further, this is a pilot project, which is this workshop, which is of the NCE, which is New Cultural Exchange. It's organized by myself and Dr. Mujda, she's a PhD candidate from UCL, and Mr. Kak Yasser Al-Zahawi. So I will give the microphone to Mujda, give me very, very few slides as welcoming here, and also giving you the objective and the vision of this group meeting. And then we will start with the speakers.
Thank you. Thank you very much to the Iraqi Cultural Center for allowing us to host, as Dr. Kawa just said, one of the first that we hope in a long series of projects. So our organization is called New Cultural Exchanges. In terms of who we are hoping to become a network of scholars, educators, and professionals from a diverse range of MENA backgrounds. I have noticed throughout my studies as a doctoral student that a lot of conferences tend to focus very heavily on geopolitics, which is very important, but shouldn't come at the neglect of other spheres of life, such as culture, economics, technology, arts, and education. So as a result, we would like to launch this new organization where our vision is to propose a set of workshops and forums and conferences just like this one, where we can place emphasis on the sociological, educational, and cultural dimensions of the MENA region. So we're interested in heritage, we're interested in education systems, culture, philosophical ideas, the production of literature, media, arts, and the lived experience of being part of a range of diasporas. In terms of our proposals, we have a lot of ideas, and our hope is that throughout today, as well as listening to our esteemed guests and our speakers, that we have dialogues within ourselves to think about what else we can do as a network. So for example, we can continue hosting a range of symposiums and conferences like this one, but we can also begin to think about collaborating for cross-cultural disciplinary tasks. So for example, we can work with museums, we can work with civic centres, culture houses, we can even think about sort of forming research clusters where academics can join together on a topic and put together a paper or an article to be published on certain topics that we're interested in, as well as maybe also thinking about policy roundtables, thinking about can we network with NGOs and educators to promote what we discuss here to bridge the gap between academia and real life, because often there can be a disconnect between the two. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mujda. So, what I decided to do this time is to have a workshop, and I always spoke with Dr. Hannah especially, and many of the other esteemed guests and speakers, that we need to have a think tank group. I'm not the best of you. Actually, I'm the lowest in academia here. I'm professional medicine. So I'm a consultant physician working for NHS and now working for HMC, which is in Qatar. I'm interested in culture. I love it. And I have some literature unwritten that, especially with my help of my very good friend, Mr. Suleiman. He encouraged me more with his magazine gallery. And he encouraged me to write for the culture. I become more interested, which I have a lecture. I hope you can bear with me until the very end, because I put myself very last in case if you're bored, so you can escape that. Right. What we need here first, for as a culture, we need to have an institution. And that's something which now Mujda mentioned here. Having an institution that will give us sustainability to be formalized. So if we make it a non-charity organization, affiliated with academic body in UK and also in Iraq /KRG, we need to do this academic body affiliation, both sides. One, and with the academic body institutions, like for example, the British Council in UK, the British Museum, and also an Iraqi museum. If we do that, we have the sustainability and continuity of these programs. So our vision, as mentioned now, I don't need to repeat that, the programs. We can make annual conferences or workshops like we do now, and I always believe that we need to bring only a very special interest people in this group rather than everybody else. Because we need to make it, I don't want to make it a club, but it's very important to have that brainstorm between this same intellect level. And that's really important, okay? What else we can do? We can do many things. We can do workshops, we can do online lectures, we can do seminars, education at very different age. One thing which I personally came from Qatar, as I mentioned, and give you a story which I love it. Last year there was Asian Cup for youth, and they used Dalila and Dumna as what they call the style of what they call the memo of the World Cup. Khalil Dumna is an Indian nation story by Pida, translated by Berzaway to Persian, And Abdullah bin Muqaffa, he translated to Arabic during Harun Rashid era. And what Abdullah bin Muqaffa did, translate not only the words, but he translated the culture of Khalil Dumna. So what he did, cleverly, he transformed the clothes, the way they eat, the way they behave with each other, this transaction, to be suitable for Baghdadian style at that time. And that's when developed Alif Layla, part of the story came from Khalil Dumna as well. So look how culture can be transformed. Now what the Qatari did, which I think is clever from them, they mentioned that we are the children of the desert. That's Khalil Dumna speaking as emanation. We are children of desert. We are from the desert. We are from this country. So I looked at it, I said, how they transform the culture, a very pronoun, important names and brand, Khalil Dumna, they transform it first by Abdullah Muqaffa to Arabic during Harun Rashid, and now to Qatari style during the Asian World Cup. Some people maybe don't like it. They said, okay, this is forgery. I personally think that's cleverness. Okay? And there is many other examples, by the way, of this. If you know about Disneyland, all the stories is coming from German, not from US. But they transform it. They make it suitable for the culture of that stage and for that country. So that's what we can do. What we can do, we have an institution, we can think deeply about this. Other things, which again, is really interesting for me. There was one guy from one of the Gulf, I think he was from Dubai. He went to Erbil, and he told me, as soon as I landed in Erbil, I went to the Qala, which is a castle, citadel of Erbil. I thought I'm 1,400 years back. I'm living in during Abbasid period. Because all the style give you the feature of Aladdin, Sindibad. This picture, he came to his mind. He said, I thought I'm going to meet Aladdin in one place. I start searching for him. Where's Aladdin? Where's Sindibad? Because the way the bricks, the arches, the doors, everything give you the feeling that you're living in that period of time. Is that not something telling us we should brand ourselves? Like, for example, we're branding anything, like, for example, clothes and everything. But the city can be branded as well. If you have a certain style, structure, architect in all the cities, the way of the culture as well, the mosque, the minaret, and everything else, that will give a beautiful branding of the city as well. Okay, so without any further, I think we discussed everything here. I think we should go now to the guest and speaker to learn from them. And I'm going to benefit myself first from the speaker, because literally all of you are academic people, and the speaker especially are being carefully selected. So I think we should stop here speaking, and then we give the microphone to the speaker. Any questions so far? Before we go to the... I'll make it interactive. If you don't ask, I will ask. Okay? Okay, I think we should go start with the first. Sorry, yes. So can you introduce yourself, because I don't know you.
Abdullah ibn al-Muqaffa is not Arabic, I think. It's Persian. And Arabic, Arab state at that time, يعني احتضنته يعني what is it? It's not Arabic. So that's my question.
There is a very nice, they said this hadith is weak hadith. Oh, it's not hadith. So we said ليس عربي من قال أنا عربي أو أمي عربية بل عربي هي اللسان والدين. It's a beautiful word, okay? Regardless who said it, I don't know, okay? When you're saying I belong to that nation, it's not genetics, okay? We are coming from a diverse population here, and our DNA is mixed with God knows what, okay? Especially people in the Mesopotamian like myself. I cannot count the people and civilization who lived in that area. Am I having a pure blood of whatever it is, Kurdish, Arabic? No. The nation is culture. What you promoting as a culture that you are belong to. Abdullah Muqaffa, he was an excellent writer in Arabic. So whether he's Persian, Kurdish, Blushi, he wrote. Sibawayh, for example. Axel, okay. Mike.
المايك مو زين هذا مو زين بده يقطع.
Thank you very much. سؤال عادي وبسيط جدا. اللوحة اللي أمامنا اللي بالكتابة المسمارية ماذا تمثل؟
That's for the people here. I don't know. So is it part of Gilgamesh, for example, or special tablets, or random?
So they collected all different sort of writings on this sort of square, if I like, and it doesn't mean nothing. Or is it Gilgamesh? Or part of Gilgamesh, or part of, I don't know, كلا لو زمنا perhaps, I don't know.
I think we have Dr. Nidal, he can read cuneiform language.
It is a photo of a cuneiform tablet.
I know it's cuneiform tablet, but what does it mean?
I cannot read
I don't think we know. Anyway, I don't think we know about this. Most likely we can say it is a random picture, but I don't know.
I don't think it's random. I think somebody who picked these cuneiform writings meant something. I wish somebody can answer me.
We will find out.
Sometime in the future.
We will find
Thank
out.
you very much.
Okay. Any other comments before going to the first part of the program? No? Okay. Okay, and here, I'm going to invite two very esteemed speakers, Dr. Hannah Al-Asam. Dr. Hannah Al-Asam, do you want to, what do you call it, by yourself?
Sorry, what?
Present yourself.
No, you present.
Okay. So Dr. Hannah Al-Asam, she is a well-known figure in the Iraqi community. Very interested in, she's, by the way, Hannah Al-Asam, which I love about her, she founded Musansiri University Medical College, which I am graduated from.
He's one of my students.
So whatever she said here, she's my boss.
And
basically.
another one, Dr. Maysam, she's one of my students as well. She's
right.
from Mustansiriya
Okay.
Medical School as well.
Therefore, the way I love her is different, because I have to say thank you very much. Otherwise, I wasn't be graduated from that university without her support. Let alone of this, she's here as part of the culture. She's founding Anana Cultural Center for the women. She's regularly meeting with about 30 plus women, discussing all about culture of the Mesopotamia and the Iraqi people. Anything else I missed? I think she's from the career background. She's cell pathologist.
Yeah, I'm a scientist. I'm a biologist, a professor of cell biology. I've been teaching in medical schools in both in Iraq and in here in Imperial College as well. And my life mostly in Iraq was concentrated on science and medical research and medical teaching. But it's also, I was at the same time, I was very passionate about art, and I was most of the time when I have time, I go to my best time with the painting. So both worlds are very important for me. Yeah. Do you like, yeah.
And also I would like to invite Dr. Amr Darwish. Dr. Amr Darwish is a writer, story writer mainly, but he's also an interest in the poet. So he wrote multiple poems. He's a BA in history and with international relation degree. He's a PhD candidate, but I think you upgraded you. Okay, you already promoted yourself, that's right. And he's a lecturer at University of Northampton. So, Dr. Amr, we're going to ask you first, because Dr. Hannah, she said, leave me for the second one.
No, I can start.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Is your presentation ready, Mr. Yasser? You have presentation?
Yeah, I think I'll start, yeah.
Okay. We're just uploading.
Yeah. Good morning. When I was first invited to speak about this subject, about art among Middle Eastern diaspora, I smiled. This is really the story of my life. I've been in crossroads between science, art, and displacement between Iraq and UK, and also I've been in Algeria as well. So it's diasporas is really the word that fit me very well. I've been working both two words, between two worlds. Actually, I don't know how they change the slide. Somebody has to. Can somebody change the slide? Yeah. I think I can change it from here. Yeah. I've been between another one, please. Yeah, I was working between two worlds as a scientist and academic, professor of cell biology. I also interested in fine art, so I'm an artist. I consider myself as a fine artist. When I work with science, of course, as you know, it's mainly concentrated on precision, on research, on observation, and on evidence. It's completely practical thing that we go through. But at the same time, when you go through art, it's emotion. Mostly you have to express your emotion and transform your emotion, transfer it into art. So both really, both world means life and survival. Power of art in diaspora. This painting is very famous painting done by Suleiman Mansour. He's from Palestine. He's very well-known artist, and he's been jailed so many times, but he still continued to paint about Palestine, about the culture of Palestine. When you think of art, it's a means of survival. Really, it means identity for people coming here. It means their voice and their healing from the trauma that they came from, a land that they were comfortable in. They have their own language, they have their own culture, everything are very comfortable, and then they come here into a different land. So when they go into art, it's a kind of healing, and it's also the artist really make a bridge between two cultures. The culture that he came from and the culture that he has to fit in the new atmosphere, in the new country. And that means that he has to reshape all perspectives. You know, when I say perspectives, in here in the West, they always look at our countries where we came from as an area of pain, of war, of destruction, and they think it's a third war or something like that. They always think of it. But as artist can change this image with his art, with his understanding on how to get into the community, he can change this image and reshape the global perspective of the Middle East. Second, please. To speak about artists in the diaspora, we have to understand the Middle East history. Middle East has a very rich art history. Actually, it's civilizations. I'll speak mainly about Iraq, where I came from. Iraq civilization starting Mesopotamia, you have the Sumerian, Akkadian, Babylonian, and Assyrians. All these civilizations, they have quite a lot of art pieces that left for us. So that means you have to understand that art to understand the civilizations. Actually, all civilizations, if you think about it, all great civilizations like Egyptians, Romans, Greek, Islamic, all of them, they disappear after time. But what is left? Their art. And the art is the registration of these civilizations. And that what means, what is very important art in these countries, and it has to be preserved in museums and other parts of the world. When we say weight of memory, these two paintings. One, it's called الصرخة, the cry, by Dr. Ala Bashir, that represent العامرية, ملجأ العامرية, Amariya shelter, and that one, destruction in Palestine, or I'm not sure, I think the destruction in Gaza, this one, and done by a Palestinian artist. Actually, when you move in diaspora, going into immigration, you don't just go from one place to another as simply from one place to another. You really carry the world that you've been in with you. You carry the memory, you carry all the pain, you carry all the literature and everything that in that country, you carry it with you. And you have to fit in the new environment. And that can make a kind of a tension in yourself to fit and to manage between these two worlds. And that can sometimes make it very difficult for artists to perform smoothly in the new environment. Iraqi artists started to really get their place here in the UK and all over the world, and that means they succeeded. This painting about the palm trees is by Maysaloon Faraj. She's always keen about our palm trees in Iraq, and she painted it very nicely. And we considered art as artists in here. They considered art as a survival. Their survival is depending on their art and how that's accepted here in the society. Through exhibitions, through quite a lot of activities, they have to survive through this. And also it's considered as healing, and that healing, sorry, I can't read in here because here, that's, we can show that we carry all the emotional feeling with us. So what we do, we paint our landscapes, we use symbols, we use our Arabic letters, we use all the symbols that show our identity and where we are coming from. If we come to London, as we are here in London, London considered as an art gallery without walls. It's a mosaic of diasporas. You have diasporas from all over the world, and it's fit all together very nicely. And that's making all exhibitions together, all the gating together as artists. What's important about London is that you have freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and you are visible. You can be visible in here and you can show yourself. What's important for the artists to do is to reshape cultural narrative. As I said before, that in the ways they think about us completely different from the way we should be. So the beauty of the artist here is to reshape the cultural narrative and the host, that's in the UK. And main thing is that he has to be hybrid. That means he is Iraqi, let's say, for example, he's an Iraqi and the British at the same time. So he has to have the culture of both places, and he has to fit it well to survive. I'd like to speak a little bit about women in art, women artists. Women artists in here, so many women artists in the diaspora really appeared and became very strong, and globally very strong, actually. They found that in outside their countries, it's a place for liberation. They can be liberated from all the culture. So it's not only geographical moving, it's cultural moving as well. I mean, they are moving from one culture into the other, and they found that they can liberate themselves, they can speak freely, they can act freely, they can behave freely, and that's a very important. Some artists really consider it very important. In the UK, we established a new group called Inanna Art Forum. It's only for ladies, for women artists. And we had a very successful exhibition, and we are going to have another exhibition next year. And this is to show the power of women artists in the atmosphere in here in the diaspora. Also, I established another group which called Tuesday Women Group, which really we get together, we discuss science, we discuss art, we discuss history, literature, everything. That makes freedom for the ladies and for women to express themselves. That's here, sorry, there are two photos, one for the Inanna and the other one for the Tuesday group. Can you go back, please? Thank you. The artist in diaspora, it's not only he have to express himself for himself, but also he has to have an impact on the host, impact on the culture of the host. That means here in the UK. And with that, we have to use certain ideas that bring our literature and about culture in here. For example, in here, I draw this is with all the letters to show that the Arabic letter in one of the paintings. The middle one is for Batul Lifkeki, showing this is mainly that Iraqi art, and you have some Sumerian symbols in here. And the last one also with we having Lina Okaili, which she's using Arabic letters in her art pieces. And that to bring culture from our homeland into the new era, into the new culture in the UK. Thank you. That's like regeneration. When I think of regeneration, when I come across regeneration, I go back to my biology term. With regeneration in biology, tissues and cells, when they break or they get sick or something happened to it, they regenerate, they transform into something new. It doesn't have to be the same. Sometimes it's stronger, sometimes it's different. That happens so many organisms in the nature, it's also in the human being. And that's what I think the same can happen with art. We regenerate art. So with this, that's one of the artists, a woman artist, Haiva. Her name is Kurdish Iraqi artist. She's very, very talented. And that's regenerate pain into something much nicer, much more beautiful, and to show into the world. Thank you. I'd like to speak, bring some artists into your attention. I have so many artists I can cover, but I can't cover all of them. So I choose only few that can different in their way of art, and different in their thinking, and different in their impact on the society. The first one is Muna Hatoum, that one. She's a Palestinian nature, and she's Lebanese. Her parents in Lebanon, and she migrated into the UK. She's living in the UK. She's always talk about the conflict between the Middle East and the UK. Her work is always structures and different. She used different media. One of her very nice pieces, I can't put it here, but it's a video, is called Measuring Distances. Her mother used to send her letters because she lived in the UK and mother is still in Beirut. She sent her letters about the civil war, about the, the pain they are suffering. And she used these letters as a background in the video, and she used herself making different kind of actions around these letters. Beautiful. She took so many trophies on that, and it's in one of the museums. I can't remember which museum, but it's very, very nice piece. Of course, Zaha Hadid. Zaha Hadid is, everybody knows, she's an architect and an artist. She changed the law of architecture, and she uses hydrate kind of movement in her buildings. She broke all the architectural laws, and she's her work all over the place, all over the globe, and that's art, woman art that really can survive generations after generations after generations. Her work is being taught in all the universities and all over the world. The third one here, Tammam Azzam, he's Syrian, and he migrated to Germany, and always has painting about war, about destructions, and big pieces. It's, his work in museums, quite a lot of museums. He's very famous. He's a very good artist. He used photography, he used paint, he used so many means of art. Thank you. Next, please. The two very important artists as well that really influence art in the diaspora, influence art all over the place, all over the world. One of them is Dr. Ala Bashir. He's an Iraqi FRCS plastic surgeon. And he's also a very, very famous painter. All his paintings is about philosophy of life, about destination, about why we are living, where are we ending, and all the philosophy of thinking. So all his paintings, sometimes not many people can understand it, but it's all about his thinking about philosophy. This painting is called Immigration and Migration, this one, and it shows a bird trying to fly, but there are chains and things that holding that bird down, that you know, some, I don't know, his memories, his affection to the homeland, whatever. But that's a painting called Immigration and Migration. The next one, which is really very well known, Diya al-Azzawi. He's globally very famous. He won so many prizes, and his work all over museums all over the world. One of his very important painting is Sabla and Shatila that I showed you earlier, that it's in Tate Museum here in the UK, and his work also in the British Museum. He different between, this is an abstract, but he do different means of art, completely different, whatever he think of, even sculpture. The same with Ala. Ala also do sculpture. And last time, it's only last week, he had a very important, here in the UK, exhibition about his ideas. It's called a point. It's, you start from one point and aim to another point. That's life. That's what we think. Next, please. The third one is Shireen Nashat. She's Iranian, that one. And she's really very interested in gender suppression. She always showing that in Iran, women are suppressed, and she show them in different ways and different in photography, paintings, and things like that, but showing that how in Iran women are suppressed, all her paintings about that. This one, Hayv Kahraman, she is an Iraqi Kurdish artist. She flew from Kurdistan into the USA. And her paintings, it's really very expressive about liberty, about identity, about her memory of war in Kurdistan and in Iraq. And she also think about the gender narratives in the world, especially in the Middle East. That's her, yeah, that's Hayv. Thank you. Three artists as well are very important in here. This is Muhammad Hafid. He's Egyptian, or Syrian. I think he's Syrian, sorry. He's Syrian. He also think about war, and he, in his pieces, he bring everything from the junk pieces and make them into art. Beautiful pieces, very large pieces. Also Zina Mustafa Salim, she's living in Canada. And her artwork is very unique. She has special style in art. Aida, she's Egyptian, Aida Badr, and also she's very prominent artist in the world, very well known. Thank you. Two very dear to me, to my liking actually, Faisal Aibi and Batul Fkeki. Faisal Aibi art bring you home nicely. He can paint all the life that we see at our home. Abu Raggi, which is the watermelon selling. Al-Abaya, which is the woman who's wearing the abaya. The Nargila, one sitting in the Nargila. And all his paintings is showing the life in Iraq, the people, how they live and how they survive and how they live everyday life. It's very interesting in a very subtle, nice way. Also, Batul Fkeki, she has a very special art, and she using this tree, palm tree in different style. All her paintings has, and hidden images of women in between. This painting in airport, Iraqi airport, Baghdad airport. It's a very long one. I used only very little piece of it, but it's a very, I think, 3 meters in Baghdad airport. Thank you. So, when artists arrive in the diaspora, what's the success factor to make them successful? Like we saw these artists who are successful and who are showing their art to everybody, and everybody recognize their art. First, cultural identity. They have to know their culture and they have to express their culture. They migrate, so they have the experience of migration. They are cultural fusion. They fuse with the culture, so they're not saying just on themselves. They fuse with the culture, and they have the global access. They use all the means in the host that they can make them famous. There is education and training here, and women empowerment are easier here than at home. Also, there are the software, the digital platforms in here, like Facebook, all the media or the digital that in here make it easier for them. Thank you. On the other hand, there are some challenges facing the artists. One is the identity struggle. Still, some artists, they can't recognize their identity. Where are they? Are they doing here? Are they from Iraq? Are they they have to fit in the society, and they still can't fit in the society. Stereotyping, as I said, the community here in the West think about Middle East as something a bit different from what we think, from the art has to show. They think about war, they think destruction, they think we are third world, and that's a stereotype. Also, limited, can you go back, please? Yeah, sometimes the artist can't find the network that he needs to. He has to have a dealer, he has to have a network, to some people to make exhibition with, and sometimes that's difficult for the artist. Also, the economic factor. Quite a large number of artists in the diaspora are poor. They don't have the means, they don't have the money to work and to express themselves, to go into exhibition, pay for the exhibition, and that can make it a barrier for them. Also, of course, emotional. Some people are very emotional about this new place, and they still within that emotion, and they can't get out of it, and that make it an obstacle. That's a challenge for them. So this, I told you about the Muna. Remember Muna from Lebanon? She make the letters from her mother. This is the picture. I took just one picture of it. That's the letter from her mother, and that's herself trying to move within these letters. But it's a video, so I took just a shot of that video. Thank you. So closing. This painting I did from Ahwar, from the marshes in Iraq. So I went a few years ago, and I painted some of the marshes, beautiful sceneries in there. So what are we learning from what I said about the Middle Eastern art and artists here? Artists here, they have to really fit in between their background and the new era, and if they don't fit that, they can't survive and they can't be happy. We carry our home with us wherever we go, in our heart and our soul. So that make our art is more kind of reflect our emotion. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Amr, I would like you to speak about your book, which you wrote recently, or what's you're lecturing in the Northampton, because especially your topic of interest is about the heritage of literary between background. Am I right?
Yes. So I've got my teaching at Northampton is to do with the imperial legacy and the shadow of the empire and the migration, and also my two collections. The first one was called "Don't Forget the Couscous," and the second one was called "Dear of Eugene." And the next one will be "Don't Forget the Hummus." But I'll try my best. But I prepared something for my talk for about 6 minutes, if that's okay. I'll just stand here because I'll be reading from the paper. So the title of my talk, How Can Art and Poetry Strengthen Kurdish Culture? Kurdistan. Uneven earth, roaring trees, childlike water, and fashionably laid thought. Land of no one. Open its arms and take the earth in. Flatter the symptoms of joy, gone with the wind, and push open the window to breathe in the perfume of pomegranate, olives, and love. The poem I just read was my attempt at to compensate for my lack of language regarding the Kurdish language. As I was forbidden from learning, reading, and writing in Kurdish in Syria, I became a Kurd without a tongue, as one of my Kurdish friends called me. As that resulted in me not speaking the language properly, I would argue that literature, particularly poetry, which is the jewel in the crown in any literary tradition, is at the forefront of strengthening Kurdish culture. This is so as the Kurds are currently one of the largest groups in the world without a land. After all, art is the dynamo or the crux of culture, if you like. Not only that, but also the driver of an entire society, as we heard earlier, how art is really functioning and making society tick. And let's face it, with the word art is in everything that society functions. For example, artification, architecture, artisan, artifice, and I can go on and on. The cultural tools of the Kurds has been suffocated for a long time, yet the culture itself did not die, and it will continue to survive. This is because cultures are not written in books and academic works, I would argue, but it's in the practice of daily life. This is how culture is produced all the time. For instance, the forbidding of the Kurds from writing and reading in their language, the prohibition of certain celebrations, the Arabization, Turkification, and other attempts to kill the language all did not succeed, and the cultures survived. And something to be said about the language here. Languages are the foundations of cultures, as through them we communicate and bring what's in the mind to the outside world. Kurdish literature or literary figures did not only try to keep their language alive, but they even went further and spoke the language of the oppressor eloquently, to the point where they became better at it than the mother tongue speakers. For instance, the Kurdish Syrian poet and writer Salim Barakat, when asked why he writes in rigid formal Arabic, he replied, "So I can show and tell the Arabs I know their language better than them." Therefore, the importance of culture, specifically literature with poetry as its leader, can drive an entire ethnic group to forming an identity and bring it to life. I can give an example of pre-Islamic poets who are not only the poets, but also the registrars of the tribes, recording death, birth, and other major events. The struggle faced by stateless groups to establish themselves is immense in terms of keeping the language alive and overall their culture. Literature and poetry does that for the Kurds. And lastly, I recall Sheikh Bekas when in a poem wrote a complaint to God about the massacre of Halabja, where he said, my angelic inspiration flew with my complaint. The next day, it was returned. God's fourth secretary down, a man by the name of Ubaid, at the bottom of the very same complaint, wrote to me in Arabic, idiot, make it Arabic. People don't speak no Kurdish here. Thank you.
Thank you very much for both of you. One thing which I learned from this talk here, I think for us to promote ourselves culturally, we need to be proactive rather than reactive. Thank you very much, Mr. Hussain. It's to be proactive rather than reactive, which is mean here, as I learned from my practice as a physician as well. We need to be more proactive in dealing with the conditions rather than waiting for the complication to happen, then react upon it. That's something which I learned from you both here, okay? And I think for the culture is the same as my medicine as well. I mean, how can we promote ourselves without reacting negatively against anything happened in the past, whether deliberately or unintentionally? Right. I will leave the question to the audience here. Who's want to contribute? We are a think tank group here. I mean, we are all intellects, so I would like we to bring the ideas here. Okay. Sure.
First of all, thank you very much. I would like to apologize because English is not my first one, my second language either, but just a few comments. I'm very pleased to be with you here. I'm just a visitor. I'm a journalist. She's a journalist. I happen to be here, and I had the opportunity to follow this very interesting meeting. And surely I learned a lot. Dr. Hannah, I congratulate you for this mixture between science with career and art. Art is maybe our future. This is our relief from all the hardship we are meeting in our countries. You mentioned that when we talk about not only Middle East, but most Arab countries, unfortunately, we talk about crisis, dictatorship, hardship, economic crisis. We have all the tools, everything that may make us better. But unfortunately, we are not enjoying the greatest, what's on our lens. So part of our hardship maybe is in this. We are talking about art that bridges the gaps between East and West. The gap is wider among ourselves, among Arabic countries, among our societies. I need a visa to go to Iraq. I need a visa to go anywhere else in the Arab world. And this makes the not really bridge. We have all in common: language, history, religion. But unfortunately, the bridge is broken, and our politicians don't do enough to bring the bridge together. We are talking under the eyes of the Jawahiri, and the great Jawahiri, and he reminds us of all our sufferings in this world. But I really would like to use the opportunity and have. Can you introduce yourself? Because I don't know you. I'm a journalist. I come from Tunisia. My name is Essia Atrous. I was editor-in-chief of Sabah newspaper in Tunisia, and now I am independent journalist. I write with الرأي اليوم and Afro-Bantat. So, I really have a question. Zaha Hadid has gone beyond all the geographic limits, and I happen to be here today when the Olympic Games, and we saw the magnificent work she has done at that time. I have a question that comes with actual scientists coming from Iraq. We've heard a lot about murdering Iraqi scientists at the time of the war. Assassinated, yes. Was there any investigative work? Is there any information about the right number, about the scientists that have been assassinated long before? And
Sorry, I didn't hear the question well.
The question was about the assassination of scientists in Iraq. Was there any investigation about the right number, about what happened?
I think this is
to famous.
This question is beyond this place because we are here, and we are academic people here, we are scientists here. We are not part of any government, and to be honest, we are completely independent.
Yeah.
So let's keep it about culture. That's what my interest is on. That's why I'm here. Okay. So leave the investigation for the police people.
No, maybe it's a way to understand our future if we can understand what happened before. Thank you very much.
Excellent interview. I'll let you answer the first part of the comment of how come we call it bridging about our societies? That's something which I really admire opinion here. I can feel that as well. I share your pain as well.
What's sorry, the name?
Asia.
Actually, what you asked about the bridges between societies. We talked about Arabic, especially about Arabic here. The lecture here is about Middle East, not only about Arab-speaking countries, because Middle East involves Iran, Turkey, even sometimes Pakistan, India, and all these stuff. That's why I didn't cover only the Arab. Otherwise, I would have covered only the Arabic country. But I was looking into the whole picture. Zaha Hadid, what was the question?
Zahra Hadid, she goes beyond all the frontiers. And she really represents how the Arab scientists can succeed when they have all the ingredients.
How they succeed?
Yeah, when they are in the right place, when they have the opportunity.
Yeah, you are right. But sometimes even the opportunities doesn't give the green light for the person to succeed. That's why I put the success and I put the challenges in my lecture. But you find some people, some artists or some genius just emerge from the crowd and show their art, and they show. One of them is Zaha Hadid. She's a genius. I consider her a genius. Yeah. So she emerged out of the of the whole societies and showed herself as a very pioneering in architecture, a very prominent figure.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Any other comments or questions? Let me ask the audience here. How can we bridge between the societies, at least in the diaspora? We'll leave alone our homeland, because we are not. There's a very nice proverb in English. They said, think globally, act locally. So we can think globally, that's fine, good, but act locally. So at least here in London, how can we bridge our societies? Ideas.
First of all, I'd like to thank the committee who organized this, and Dr. Hannah. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name that much. Actually, I think through art and artists with their work, they can bring facts and information about where they come from, and the effect of that inhibited sort of feeling which they have to show what their country presents. So that also would help the Europeans, wherever they are, these artists are working, can appreciate their kind of work. That way, we are building the bridges and making them understand or accept our way of whether it's life or art. That way, they will appreciate the feeling or the suffering of the artists that came from such a background into being or successful in this country or in any country in Europe.
I can feel the sense that whenever we speak about art, we speak about suffering. What is suffering? I mean, art is about suffering? No. Sorry. I think it's both sides. Happiness and suffering.
Yeah. Now, what I'm mentioning, when I said, when I mentioned that the suffering is a lot of these Iraqi artists or Syrian, Palestinian had suffered, and that's why they came to Europe, and that's how they are presenting themselves.
Okay. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, yes. I'm an Iraqi artist and high school teacher for 30 years. In my capacity as a school teacher, I taught art and design for 30 years in a Roman Catholic school in London. I saw myself as an ambassador to my culture, to my faith, to my family. And I taught Kurdish kids, Syrian kids, Iranian, Bosnian, you name it. I was in charge, besides teaching art, I was in charge of refugees in my school. When we had at some point 40% refugees. So I feel I kind of made them feel proud of their culture, and I was happy that they were expressing their culture, their faith, their identity through school. So we had cultural days, we had summer fairs where the Kurdish kids were dancing the dabka, the Iraqi kids were, playing football and doing all the things that, with everybody had their T-shirts with their flag on. So you do this as part of your...
I think that's brilliant, honestly. Yeah, speaking about this, it's a very nice, simple, but huge impact on the children, and they are our next generation.
As an artist, so I've been showing my artwork in galleries for 40 years. And of course, that in itself is a way of inviting people, communicating with people. If I may, just have one comment two actually, for Dr. Hannah. I wish I'd seen in your beautiful presentation work by Suad al-Attar or Layla al-Attar and Hana'a Malallah, whose work is in museums.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I said. It's not only that. I mean, the pioneer, our work, so many artists and pioneers, but I couldn't show everybody. I showed these because they have different kind of impression, some kind of impression to the society. They have an impression. Suad and Layla, Suad here, but they didn't affect the society here. We're talking about diaspora. We're not talking about art in general, but we're talking the effect of Middle East in the host here. So Layla, she didn't come, she didn't leave Iraq. And Suad is sorry? Allah yarhamha. Yeah, so I can't, because I can bring Jawad Salim, I can bring Hafez al-Durubi, but I'm talking about Middle Eastern artists in diaspora, especially who came here and the influence immigrated or migrated. That's mainly. So that's why I concentrated on some people who have migrated suffered and came here to affect the new society in here. And of course, I mean, you are one of the people that I should have mentioned. Your art is beautiful, but I couldn't. But I couldn't.
I have to say, I will take this blame as well, because I insisted on all the speakers not to speak more than 10 minutes. Okay, because we need to utilize the time for this discussion, which in my opinion is more useful than a didactic lecture. This is workshop, and this is think tank group. Okay, so I will take that blame, not for her. She cannot mention everything. Okay,
yeah, I'll just comment very quickly about the 2 points, which is how the art can bridge between societies and cultures. I think the very idea is that art is prevalent in every society, and that's why art will be part of the human condition. It's not part whether this society will have an art or not. It's part of the human condition, human-made by an artistic work, if you like, if you take it the idea how they are made. So that's how the societies will be closing the gap between themselves. But if I challenge the idea that yes, art is a child of pain, some sort, and there should be a struggle somewhere to draw on pain to bring it to life. But that not necessarily it has to be the same struggle for everyone. It might be different. Some people might immigrate. Some people might be in pain in their childhood. Some people might be in a different way of pain or have a trauma later on in life. But there need to be some sort of source coming from that kind of thing.
Some feelings.
Some
have
feeling,
to have feelings
emotion.
that to be able to be an artist. You need emotions, and the emotions coming sometimes from suffering. Yeah.
Okay. Now we are in this age, professional or academic. We're talking about how to transfer our culture to local. Yeah. If we gone, who will do that? Are we waiting for more immigrants from our countries to come and transfer this culture? I ask you, you're interested in culture, yeah? Have we built the bridge between us? Between our generation and the next generation, who they can make this idea survive and continue? Have any Iraqi think about the next generation? Because we got lots of talented, yeah? And they are proud about their culture, but there is no facilities. And the next generation, they just think about how they fit themselves in this culture, not our culture. So is anyone think of next generation to continue this great idea?
There are. Yes, there are. And I can tell you there is many, okay, positively saying that. Yeah. So Dr. Hanaء الأعسم doing Anana, for example.
Our generation, maybe you misunderstand me. Our generation, there is lots of activities. I'm talking about the next generation.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And I do share that. And I do share this concern. And to be honest, one of the things which made me to do this activity, which is beyond my physical, what they call it, career, myself. I'm living in Doha, came here for that purpose as well. Is that concern, which exactly you're saying. Not let alone the people, for my children, where is my son? Where is Ibrahim? He left. Okay, so that's one of the things. I brought my son here also to see that, okay? To look at the art, the culture, how the people behave. This DNA, I can see, is very difficult to survive economically and also technologically as well. And I was going to mention that in the future plan. It's very challenging for people to survive, to establish themselves as a family, establish themselves as a career. When they are very comfortable, like ourselves now, okay, maybe majority of us here, then we're going to say, okay, how about our children or how about our other generation? This is luxury. And we are lucky, to be honest, part of this luxury group that we can think about other people as we already satisfied or managed to establish ourselves.
I'm not talking personally.
I understand.
On the
General, Jalia. And that's what exactly.
I want to tell you something.
But I mean, look.
In Kufa Gallery,
Where is that?
and I think Samarai, we made some activity for the kids, a play.
Uh-huh.
A play.
Okay, very good.
It's been written by Tekha, and we voluntarily done everything, even the design and everything. And we invite the kids. We don't have something like this to sit on. They sit on the floor, and we create I wish the other two here to tell me how much we've done for this. And we bring the Iraqi culture, the play where we were playing with our kids outside. We don't know how much they love it. We don't know how much they love it. So why don't we create culture to educate our kids?
Absolutely. And that's what we're doing here as well. And to be honest, this place as well, I mean, this الملتقى الثقافي, without their support, I couldn't do this as well. Okay, because, I mean, think about it. When I spoke with them about it, I mean, الدكاترة موجودين هنا, they welcome that. So people are willing to help.
Can I agree with you totally, actually. Young people, especially our children, our grandchildren, some of them, they don't speak Arabic, they don't speak their native language, they speak only English, and that's a disaster for me, I think. And when Dr. Kawa asked me to speak in English, I thought there would be some young people attending, because these are mostly, they understand English better than Arabic. But unfortunately, I can't see many young people here, which is it's unfortunate. I think we have to attract young people to activities, to bring them, to show them the culture. When I talked about art, and here in the diaspora, and these artists are really bringing their culture from home, it's important for the young people to understand it, to understand that we have some kind of figures that suffer because they came from a culture different from here. But in here, this young generation, our children and our grandchildren, they don't know that. They just speak, they so much immersed in the new culture. From us, yeah. So maybe Dr. Kawa and your group can arrange something for the young people, as suggested.
Mujda, how many of them are younger generation, the PhD candidate student of universities in the registration? But I can see the attendance is not 100%. They didn't come. There are a few. I can see their name in the back. They register themselves, but
I'm for one, to teach not teach them, but talk to them about the history, about all these informations which we cannot give it to them. When they hear it from somebody else, they would appreciate it more, I think. And especially if there are specialists in history or in some sort of information about the old history and the new history. It makes a difference for the young generation, I wouldn't say children, but the younger generation to appreciate and understand. I have two grandchildren who taught themselves Arabic, to learn Arabic by themselves through the internet, and now they can talk. One of them was with me in Jordan lately. He met an American Palestinian, and he was talking to him in Arabic. The guy at the end asked him, "Where do you live?" He said, "In London." He said to him, "Do you speak English?" I said, "I can't believe that. At last you can talk."
Maybe the American is not English. Sorry.
It is said that the word earth without the art is because yeah, without the art is but how can we bridge between our communities. We are so closed. We are closed. The Arab Iraqi work together, and other communities work together. Kurdish community work with themselves in a circle. So there is no just liaising. We can't liaise in those communities. Even now, we don't have English speaker. We can't be open to just one. We can't be open to. We are in this country, but we can't invite somebody from British Museum or other art museums or galleries. So that's why I think it's important to be open to each other.
And that was my intention in this meeting. I've invited people from all the region of the Middle East, Iraq, Syria, Turkey, Iran. Whoever came, welcomed them. Who didn't, I cannot do more, okay? I invited many other non-Arabic speaker, non-Kurdish speaker, English speaker. One of them is a speaker, actually, sitting with the Mujda. She will be speaking with us. And Ms. Belinda, she kindly accepted to come here and attended. And I know, she's from Dubai, actually. So I try my best to invite because I understand that point. I know it, and it's very important to work on it. And when I was mentioned about by Ms. Asia, about bridging about community, that's something we desperately need. Okay, because we're facing a huge challenge. I feel that as one community, we cannot really face that challenge. We have to come together. Okay. One thing which I may be wrong. Okay, you rectify me if I'm wrong. Middle East is not nations. Middle East consists of ethnic groups. Am I right or wrong? Okay, so these nationalities is very good for Western people. Does work for them, but doesn't work for us. And it's clear. So we are, in the past, we call tribal confederation, as Anderson Smith mentioned here. It's tribal confederation. And this tribal confederation evolved, become ethnic communities. We have to work on ethnic communities. We cannot really change that ethnic communities and become nationals because we are not. Okay? So when we speak about Tunisia, for example, we mentioned here, and Dr. Hannah, she replied to you, we are not speaking about one nation here or one ethnic group. So we have to speak about all the different ethnic groups. Okay, any other comments? If not, we will take for a break, is that right? Or what we have? One more. Shall we have a break, if you don't mind, please? I know. Break. I start a break, sir? 5 minutes? 10 minutes break? 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
10 minutes.